If you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Today I want to talk to you about data access as opposed to data analytics or data analysis. This, once again, comes out of the 2024 Evaluation of Corporate Compliance Updates, and the DOJ has highlighted this critical area of data access as significantly important for the compliance professional. The Department of Justice will now evaluate whether compliance programs have adequate access to the necessary data to assess the overall effectiveness of their compliance program going forward. The Department of Justice has made it clear over the past 18 months that the ability to access and, more importantly, analyze relevant data is crucial for not only identifying risk and monitoring compliance, but having the indices of a best practices compliance program if the regulators ever come knocking. If compliance teams are siloed or cut off from the important data sources within your organization, it hampers their ability to do their job effectively, and the DOJ will certainly take notice. I want you to really understand the emphasis here is on data access, and that is something new. So what are the the action steps for the compliance professional? Number one, ensure that compliance professionals and personnel have access to all relevant data sources across your organization. Number two, invest in the necessary technology and resources that allow for effective data analysis and monitoring. This means increased expenditures. And number three, collaborate. Compliance should work closely with IT and other departments to break down data silos and facilitate seamless data access. I'm going to say it once again that this is the first time we've really seen the DOJ emphasize data access. And if there is data within your organization that you don't have access to, this is something that you need to take up with management and really point out directly to them that you have an obligation under DOJ mandate now to have access to your company's data. As I said in the opening of this podcast, this month's sponsor of the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico, and they've developed a toolkit for middle managers that will help middle managers in intaking information from employees and, equally importantly, understanding how to respond and how to get the information up to compliance for the decision makers. We've linked to this toolkit in our show notes, so check it out at ethico.com. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.